bitches, every city in my tribe. Look behind. Booty dominate.
Oh, I need to plug my phone in.
Howdy.
Oh,
How we doing?
good. How you doing?
I'm tired. I spent all day moving stuff around and getting things ready for a big old golf tournament I'm working. I'm tired, I'm hot, and I'm covered in sweat. How about you? How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I'm sitting in front of the window and the sun just got to be like so much.
Please only
My
request
box
if you
is
disagree.
stuck.
Oh, whoops.
No, you have a pass. You're one of my friends.
Yay! I get special treatment.
I know, it's so funny. Like when my friends like are like, "Does that mean I can't co-host?" I'm like, "No, you know, if like I like you as a co-host or not." Hey,
Hell yeah.
Josh. My circle, my box, it's stuck. Okay.
Fat Five Freddy told me everybody's fly. DJ spinning, I said my. Flash is fast, Flash is cool. Je ne sais pas. Flash ain't no dude.
That's like, what is this? What kind of background is that? Oh my God.
Ooh, look at that. Just leave it like that for the entire live and have no context.
Oh my God, that's so embarrassing.
That's amazing. I'm
I
so
don't know
basic.
if I'm so basic. What?
I always do the same thing. It's just green screen, put my background up, and leave it there. I never do like the
I
fancy
know
boxes or anything.
you're a little annoying sometimes because you walk away from your camera or from your phone, and then I'm like in requests and like I'm commenting and like you can't see it because you're like standing somewhere.
Oh, wait. Well, I've done that once or twice where I've set it up on like my fireplace mantle and then I just kind of walk around. But typically, I try to go in the requests, I try to go in order, and then comments, I usually only look at every so often because the main person who I want to pay attention to is whoever I'm talking to. But I apologize.
Oh no, I just wanted to give you shit. You don't need to apologize. It's okay.
Oh,
I think I was just
okay.
really grumpy that day, and I'm like, fuck you, Jeff. Like, don't let me in.
I thought we were friends.
I did. Oh, Austin's here too. Hi, guys.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone's day going? Oh, someone's saying, Kenzie, you're so pretty.
Oh, thank you, April.
Hot dogs or tacos? If it's between the two, usually I go tacos, but I do enjoy. You know what I like better than hot dogs is bratwurst.
I do feel like I do like hot dogs, but I hate admitting I like hot dogs.
That's fine.
Hi, welcome.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
What you got?
I was just in another live right before this one, and there was, and I just seen yours, so I wanted to see you guys' thoughts onto it. One of us, she had like things written down behind her too, and it said, men can have an opinion, but shouldn't have a vote.
Ooh, I kind of know what I think you mean. Is this specifically talking about abortion?
Yeah, I should have,
okay.
made clear. I didn't realize, you got a bunch of different things in there. But,
yeah. Well, Kenzie, would you like to go first?
Sure. I mean, I don't hate that saying. I think, between partners, you can certainly discuss, and no one's feelings or desires are more invalid than the other. But when it comes to, who's carrying the pregnancy, ultimately they are the person who has control over their own body, and that is their right.
Definitely. I completely agree with it. It's actually like the first time I've seen like on one of these lives, like somebody even point that out, because sometimes you will, I don't know. I agree with that. I just want to hear you guys' thoughts onto it, because I think men can have an opinion, but when it comes down to it, it's an issue that affects women's literal bodies. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's their choice, and whether I'm pro-life or pro-choice, Because personally, just personally, I would say I'm pro-life. I'd like to see it work, but unfortunately, that's not how it works when it comes to a woman's body and the choices and the options that she's given. So I will back up a woman whatever they want because it's their issue, you know?
Mhm.
Well, the way that I kind of go about it is I have two different takes on it. Number one is like, I always say absolutely we can contribute to the conversation. I think it's especially important because there's so many pro-life men who are not going to back down. Like, let's stand by our ladies and our non-binaries who can get pregnant and anyone in between. Like, let's show them that we absolutely stand with them. And that's like one take I have on it. It's just like we said, we don't have the final say. This is their decision at the end of the day. But the other take that I have is I am absolutely okay with stepping aside and leaving this conversation to completely leaving this conversation to the people who can get pregnant. I will sit down and I will shut my mouth. And I'm happy to do that so long as on the pro-life side of things, that happens as well. Otherwise, I'm not going to let them to keep trashing them and then we have to just sit by and wait.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Awkward silence. Is there anything else?
Jim, you would say you're pro-life. What does that mean?
That's just literally my opinion for myself. I don't want to. I'm not really out there trying to change anyone's mind, or you know what I mean. But that's just how I feel because personally, like, what does that affect? Whether what I am, because I'm not a woman, I will never have to face those issues and stuff. But I don't know.
Do you want? Would you vote for abortion to be illegal?
No.
So
I guess
I can't get mad at that opinion. If you have one you don't agree with it, that's one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What I mean is, like, me personally, Jimmy would like to see everybody live. You know what I mean? But that's not reality. You know what I mean? There's women that go through situations and circumstances where that's not the ideal, option for their life. So, and I completely understand that. So, at the end of the day, where I stand is whatever the woman, whatever their choice is, that's what I think what they should do. And what's sad is that you can see, like, where these, who is making the vote, like where all the power is the majority of men, and if I can take everything,
yes, 100, it's the most frustrating thing.
It is. Like, if I could rewrite the world, I would make it like where women's issues are literally only dealt with, voted on, whatever, with women. You know what I mean? And I think that's how, especially abortion, that's how it should be.
I mean, I would say the people who have the capacity for pregnancy, well, and women too.
Yeah.
For sure.
So then my question for you would be, would that mean that you are pro-life personally, but legally you would be pro-choice?
Yeah.
Okay. And a couple of people in the chat are pointing this out, but that would, and we don't want to put labels on you that obviously you don't agree with, but that would theoretically make you pro-choice.
Yeah, I understand that. That's why, because to be honest, I really don't give my opinion on this topic so much. I try to stay quiet to it and like leave the women to it. But I just seen that, like I said before, you guys in the other live mentioned that, and I just want to see what you guys thought about that. Because you really don't see that too much. Because something that annoys me is that, and I understand men can have an opinion and it's valuable in some ways, but sometimes you flip through TikTok and you see these lives where you can see there's 4 of us right here. You'll see just 4 men talking about this issue nonstop, saying, and there's not a woman involved in the situation, in the conversation. That annoys me for some reason.
Well, Jim, I'm gonna try and get a debate going, but I appreciate you coming up. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Take care.
You too. Oh, there's.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I am neither pro-life or pro-choice. I am pro-healthcare.
Great. Love that.
Interesting.
I was debating some so-called pro-lifers because, see, I enjoy HIPAA. Whatever I talk to my doctor is private and can never be spoken outside of the office. So I asked the pro-lifers, how are they going to prove that these women had just a, abortion, or how are they going to prove or disprove that it was medical or rape or incest? And none of them could answer me, because you would actually have to break HIPAA to get those answers.
Mm.
I do disagree with the calling it the Supreme Court, though.
Oh
What?
yeah.
Oh, I fair.
Well, one of the things that I've kind of talked about with the Supreme Court thing is like, regardless of whether or not you're cheering the victim, like, if you agree with the fact that it happened, then you need to understand, like, anywhere from 55 to 64% of the population disagreed with overturning Roe v. Wade, and they made that very clear leading up to it. Of the 6 justices that voted against it being what am I trying to say? That voted for it to be overturned, 5 of them, and this has been talked about to death, lied under oath that they were not going to use their power to overturn it, and 2 of them have been accused of assault or misconduct against women. So if you are someone who is cheering on this victory, objectively, you're applauding a dirty move to achieve a shallow victory that goes directly against the will of the people. So I do not understand how people can call themselves the party of the people when that is stuff they do.
Right. Like I said, I can't,
Right.
back in the day, it was the Supreme Court. When it was Ruth Bader Ginsburg on there, and to me that, because you had opinions on both sides and it wasn't a majority, and they got stuff done, and I could, follow that kind of a law. But when you have a biased and lied under oath, when lawyers, when they pass the bar, have to state every single thing that they have done, and if they're caught lying, they lose their license. So why is that not for judges too?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. There is a website that is linked in my bio. It's called fixthecourt.com, and it does talk about a lot of changes we can make for the Supreme Courts, such as limiting term limits, other things, ethics, essentially more transparency in their tax returns and how they earn money, and then more publication on when they're going to go do public things.
Anyway,
Keep it
I
the
just
same
thought
current
I'd bring it
rules.
to attention. It's harder for them to defend HIPAA laws and being able to prove, because I've always been under the understanding people are innocent until proven guilty. But in order to prove them guilty, you're going to have to break the federal HIPAA law between you and your doctor. And when does the right, when do the rights end? I mean, if they're willing to take that one off the table, what's next?
Well, one of the things I've always said that kind of pushed me away from the Republican Party is I realized that as much as they preach the Constitution, they only follow it when it's convenient for them. Like the First Amendment in and of itself, it's like we have the right to say whatever we want. Don't try to tell us that we can't say things because that goes against our First Amendment rights. But wait a second, why you're not allowed to call us like racist, sexist, or misogynist or anything like that. That's just out of line. That's out of pocket. And it's like, where's the consistency? And that's just one example.
Well, I've been a Democrat basically since I could vote way back when. And to me, Bernie Sanders is the epitome that every Democrat should follow.
I actually do.
I do like Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie's pretty good. I've actually been watching a lot more of Obama's speeches recently, and I wish I would have paid more attention to him when he was in office, because I feel like there's a lot that he did that was like for the benefit of this country that I just completely overlooked because I was young.
Oh, well, now see, I voted for Obama twice. He was a very eloquent speaking man, and he was, to me, the epitome of what a president should carry himself.
Mhm.
You know, instead of hurling slurs and talking down to people, that is not a leader.
Yeah. The world
I did
needs
vote for
leaders,
Bill
not
Clinton.
tweeters.
Yeah, but I disagreed with the whole thing. I don't think what goes on. You know, I still think he was an okay leader. Even after his indiscretion, but I really can't fault him for that. I mean,
Yeah.
presidents are still human.
Well, in terms of
sure.
like in terms of all the presidents that have been throughout my lifetime, it hasn't been many. It's been Clinton, and that was very short because I was born in '99. It was Bush, it was Obama, it was Trump, and now it's Biden. So there have been 5 presidents in my lifetime. There's no arguing over which one was the best, like especially in terms of who was representing our country. People slam him until like their lungs are blue, but in terms of like who dropped the approval rating of American leaders and world leaders in general, it's very clear where that all started.
Yeah, I was actually born when Jimmy Carter was president. That shows how old I am. I actually got to witness Reagan and the attempted assassination of him, where that cop or the Secret Service got shot.
Yeah.
That's back when I was in school.
I think one of my favorite things about Reagan was when he was in a speech or whatever, and there was like a balloon that popped or whatever, and he just like looked up and said, "Missed me," and then he just kept speaking.
Well, the only thing that I can get behind with Reagan is he disproves what Mitch McConnell said about Social Security. It is not an entitlement program. Every American pays into Social Security so that when something like what happened to me and now I'm disabled, I paid into that insurance to help me out now.
Mhm.
And that's what Social Security is. It's not an entitlement program. Reagan even stated that it'll still be there, and any money is put back into it. It's not an entitlement program. But the Republicans of today are trying to brainwash people, saying Social Security and Medicare is dragging the country down, and that's only because they've borrowed money out of it.
I'm so fucking cute, bitch.